All right, should be live. Gonna be doing Onyxia today. We're just gathering everyone. Everyone's getting online, and we never start right on time, but we should start in the next like 15 minutes. All right, everything should be shut up now. We should be good. Double check that I'm live. Yep, live on Twitch. Live on YouTube. Yep. All right, where are they? There they are. I'm gonna open some lockboxes. Well, I didn't press anything. Is that a trade bug? They always hesitate. It's like something make me busy? Because I didn't hit escape there. And they always seem confused. This has happened before when like people are trying to get me to pickpocket lockboxes. Like randomly the window closes and then like both people act confused. What are Tharson family jewels? I didn't know that was even in the game. Alrighty. Sure. Yeah, I don't take tips, especially when I'm waiting around before Onyxia. Like, this is like the best time for someone to ask me to open a lockbox. So I'm not gonna take a tip from a guildie for that. All right, good thing I remembered to repair. Brought a bunch of junk with me today. Probably won't use it all. Just bought some spare gear and stuff. I don't know if I'll ever need it to use it, but you know. I mean, there's no way I'll actually use it. I'm just optimistically, preparing for the Bloodfang helmet and got to get my gear ready to make some swaps once I get it. What can we even do? I guess we can try dueling someone with the meme weapons. Actually, what hits harder? Massa McGowan or the Skullforged Reaver? Massa McGowan's better, for sure. Who do I even want to duel? I can do the lock. I just always lose to the lock in PvE spec. As the warlocks play PvP spec for raiding. You get Feldom, or whatever the sack is. I'll duel him anyway, just for the memes. If I pop everything, maybe I can kill him. Should I pop cooldowns on his freaking Voidwalker? I don't think I could. Last time I tried, I could not kill the Voidwalker fast enough. Which is pretty awkward, not gonna lie to you. Hey Abdullah. Hey Stoyanov. I remember how to pronounce it now. I'm doing good, Abdullah. How are you doing? Let's see. Might as well duel somebody. I'll do the stabber. Any luck with Hodge? Not yet, Francisco. Did a bunch more runs yesterday. Still no Hodge. Do I want to change my macro? I should probably do like a video over macros. I don't have that many macros, but like a lot of people don't know that you don't have to like get an add-on and like set up a keybind to equip weapons. You can actually just macro to equip weapons. So I'm gonna change Scarlet Chris for my PvP set. I guess it was called PvP, but most of the time it is going to be Bone Scraper, I guess. I need like 2 different PvP, but you just do equip slot. Why are you not playing daggers anymore? I still am playing daggers. I was just thinking about dueling, and there's a few matchups where you don't want to press backstab in duels. You basically need combo points. So for example, I was planning on dueling a Warlock, which I probably will hear in a second. And if I'm going to sap the Warlock and try and kill the pet, then I obviously don't want to dagger out while I'm Sinister Striking the pet. But we'll see if I even have enough damage to kill the pet. I don't even... Last time I did not. I kind of want to death ray this guy. Did you get Iron Foe? Massa McGowan. Everyone thinks it's Iron Foe. I think it has the same visual effect. But you were not the first person who's asked if I got Iron Foe. It's just Massa McGowan. Massa McGowan's still really good, but not Iron Foe. All right, let's lose a duel to this. You guys get to see what it's like to duel a Warlock as a non-undead. It is a fun time. Okay. This actually is going well. Well, the sap broke early. But, yeah, I'm kind of screwed here. He can just death coil at any time and I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. Unless he waits too long. Maybe I can kill him in this. I can't let him use an ability. Do a quick tick of band-aid just so I don't die to these dots. Whew, we got him. Yeah, he just got super greedy with his death coil. If he death coiled at any time, I die there. But no shard, no win. I guess he didn't have Hellstone. It kind of killed him from a lot of health, but I was about to say you used all your luck on the drop then. Okay, let me see what you said, Aryan. I've been trying to get the Dalren main hand for the last 3 weeks, over 150 runs, haven't seen a drop yet, getting offhand easily. Want to give up on the main hand. Any recommendations on what to do? No CDs, but I will try. Yeah, I honestly... Let's see what we can do here. I did it. I did it. I'm a legend. Let's go. Oh, buddy. He has Hellstone now. Oh, we hit our kicks. I might still lose. I'll answer you guys' question in a second. I'm still going to lose the duel. It's unfortunate. I actually played the duel perfectly, but with no CDs, there's nothing I could do. You got your coil, but no CDs. All right, Aryan, to answer your question, you could buy Crawlblade and use Mira's Song Crawlblade if you want. If you're not going to use Dalren's, you can. Mira's Song is better in the offhand. I wouldn't blame you for giving up on the Dalren's, to be honest. It's a grind, especially if you're not enjoying it anymore. You can just, try and go for Crawlblade. You're gonna replace Dalren's in raid anyway, so I would just, if I were you and you're sick of grinding it, just try and save up for a Crawlblade or a Sword of Zeal if you can find it a little cheaper. Crawlblade's better, but that's what I would recommend if you don't want to go for the Dalren. Would you use Viscag or Perditions if you had access to both? I would use Perditions because I already have aged core leather gloves, and I prefer Dagger Rogue as well. So I would go with Perditions. Oh, Pi. This guy is a shaman. I really hope I don't lose to a shaman because they're pretty easy. This guy's tanky. Did he? I'm a little confused. Did I just lag and he got a cast off, or did he NS? This guy is really fast heals. I might need to kidney here. Oh my gosh. That resist. Okay, we still got him. he resisted my kidney, and I think he snuck a heal off early in the fight. And either I was just too slow or lagged, or I don't know what happened. It felt like by the time he finished it, I was just seeing the add-on cast bar go up. Maybe I should be watching his hands and not relying on that on. I've been using Thrashblade and Dalrend offhand with 6-piece Shadowcraft. The set bonus is approximately much with Thrashblade hitting, hold off and get Gut or Ripper from Gar and keep it in offhand. Going sword in one hand, dagger in another is fine for PvP, but it is not very good for PvE and raiding, because you can get sword specialization or dagger specialization, but you can't get both. So, or it's really not efficient to get both. He resisted another stun. I'm just gonna gouge this guy and kill his totem. I think I have to evasion this guy. I think I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna pop cooldowns so I don't lose to a healer. If I kidney, he's dead for sure. Hey, he finally didn't resist one. Sweet. I had to make sure I didn't lose to a healer there. That could have been embarrassing. Shamans, actually, healing shamans are the hardest, in my opinion. All right, is going back to your question, Aryan. If you are PvP spec, it's actually best if you're going like the hemorrhage spec that does not play daggers, to use a slow main hand in the main and a slow sword in the main hand and like a dagger in the offhand. That's actually the best. But if you're playing combat and you're doing raiding, you want to either pick daggers or swords. So I wouldn't use a combination. I always thought swords was a superior spec, but waiting 5 weeks sword drop, passed on 2 Persian blades. Oh, okay, yeah. Swords is not the superior spec after raid. Pre-raid, it's better. So that's why everyone plays sword spec pre-raid. Also, what I've learned is that Perdition Blade wasn't originally in vanilla. I didn't realize this. So it's not supposed to be out for like another few months. So the fact that Perdition Blade is in the game, it actually hits like really hard. And it was, I guess, released late. So basically, daggers are better than swords, even though swords were better in original vanilla during Molten Core, because Perdition Blade wasn't in the game at the start of vanilla. Would you only go for 4% hit on your gear? There's no set number that I would go for my gear. Here's my talents, Abdullah, by the way. So how hit works is no matter how much hit you have, until you are hard capped, hit will still add damage. So you just have to make the best decision at each, depending on the gear you have access to and what you can get. So for example, I choose to wear Shadowcraft. It's not because I don't think hit is good. It's because I think Shadowcraft bonus is better than the hit gear that I could have equipped. So hit is still important. I still go for the Tarnished Elven Rings. And like right now, since I don't have Hodge, I'm using the Royal Seal. And I have the Satyr Bow. So hit is still important. It's just, you have to make a choice as to what you want to equip. And sometimes the piece with hit on it is not the best piece. Sometimes it is. Oh, I mean, yeah, don't worry about it, Peter. A lot of people didn't know about Shadowcraft. I didn't think Shadowcraft was going to be the best option until I got it. Got the set bonus to try it, and I was like, wow, this is adding a ton of damage. So I didn't I think a lot of players in that boat. I'm the only rogue in my guild with Shadowcraft. No one else uses it. Actually, maybe this guy does. I think this guy runs 4 set. Yeah, this guy runs 4 set. Oh, he's getting 5 set. Maybe he's trying to get Shadowcraft. He was running 4 set last week. Running around with way too much hit. See, it doesn't really work that way unless you like only have hit. How hit rating works is, the difference between having like 10% and 11% hit is the same as like 13 and 14. So like, it's not like as you get more hit, it gets less effective. Now there is one argument that is you want to balance your hit and your damage, and that does make sense because if you have all hit gear and no damage gear, then you'll never miss, but you won't do that much damage with your hits. So you do kind of want a balance of damage and hit. But there's, it's not like you having a lot of hit gear is gonna, it's not like the hit gets less effective the more hit you get. It's the same. Once you are soft capped and you have the 6% hit, from that point on, all hit is equal. So going from 6 to 7% is just as good as going from 14 to 15. But yeah, hopefully we get some good drops today. I think we have, is the other hunter here? I think he is here. Does he have it? I thought he got it. Maybe he hasn't completed his quest yet. I could have sworn, oh, you need 2 drops, don't you? You need 2 drops, I forgot. I think this guy, Tot, has one of the leafs, or whatever it's called, for the Rock Dalar. So we had some good drops last week in Onyxia. We had the leaf for Rock Dalar. We had Deathbringer's negligence here. Yeah, he is. Check out this guy's axe. This guy got Deathbringer last week. 2.9 speed. This thing is insane. So that dropped. I wonder who is the next now. I think we have next on 3 warriors right now. I think he has the neck as well. I don't know where he's at. Oh, he's running around. The more AP you have, the more hit is worth. Yeah, that is true. However, like let's say you have 1,000 AP, as you get more and more hit, as long as you're past the soft cap and you're under the hard cap, hit is worth the same as you keep getting it. So for example, above, Aryan was saying he felt like he had way too much hit. No, that was Peter. Peter said he thought he had way too much hit. And I was just telling him it's not like it gets worse the more you get. It's only if you're like sacrificing a lot of damage. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a video on hit because I feel like a lot of people either think it's useless or think it's, not worthwhile. I can show you my my log on Rag. We killed him before the submerge. Great logs. This one. And we obviously, run out and all that stuff. This was the Rag kill. So I did 350 damage on Rag. 350 DPS. I wonder what was my parse. Where do you press? Rankings, there we go. Yeah, so 71, it's not that good. I have a feeling if we just weren't called to run out as much, maybe I would have had a better parse. I don't know. I felt like I did top damage of all the melees. Did 50 DPS over the second closest. And this is another dagger rogue with Corehound Tooth. So, it did 50 DPS more than the next melee, who has got a better weapon. So I felt pretty good about my rag kill. How much? And if you guys are curious, because a lot of people are always talking about like the breakdown of damage, 50% of my damage was melee. So, what daggers are you using for raid? I have a good offhand and I have a garbage main hand. So I actually, against Ragnaros, I was using the Barman Shanker because he is immune to bleed. So I did use the Barman Shanker. And we can even see, yeah, I think can I show gear? I know I can, I just got to figure out the button. Here we go. Yeah, see, you can see I had Barman Shanker equipped, and then you can see in the damage done that I did not apply the debuff to him. So just so you guys know, you can use weapons with debuffs if you're certain it won't proc. So I actually used Barman Shanker on Rag. So to answer your question, I use Barman Shanker when the debuff will not apply, when the boss is immune. Otherwise, I use Shadowfoot Stabber. And Barman Shanker's really good. It just has the bad debuff. Shadowfoot Stabber kind of sucks. And if I didn't have the gloves, I would probably be like respecking to swords, just because Shadowfoot Stabber is, I mean, it's a great dagger for like 52, but I mean, when you're trying to raid at 60, it's still one of the better options for main hand, but most of the options are just really hard to get. Hey, Helgi. Oh, good. We're actually heading off. Let's put my carrot in and I'll follow someone. Oh, that guy has epic mount. I really need to get my epic mount. Let's see if I missed anything else. How much of Night Slayer / Bloodfang do you think you need before better than 6 pieces Shadowcraft, not counting boots bracers? I would say like 3-4 pieces. I would with your first 2 pieces of raid gear, I would try and maintain the 6 set. So if you have all the Shadowcraft, I would swap around. But definitely once you have like 3 or 4 pieces, I would run like, try and run like 4 set Shadowcraft and like 4 raid pieces, or maybe like 4 set Shadowcraft, 2 Devil Sword, 2 raid pieces if you can't, if you don't have all the Shadowcraft items. Dude in my guild did 449 DPS, killed him 230. I don't know how, but his crit rate on white attacks was 50% and backstab 85%. Yeah, he probably just had world buffs. There's a few world buffs that you can get. So if he had the Onyxia buff for turning in the head, he would have, I think, 5% crit. And I think Songflower is like 10% crit. So there's some buffs you can get that give you a lot of crit. That's probably what it was. My crit for my white hits, let's see. I'm at 23% unbuffed. Am I really? Oh, I don't have my trinket in. I was about to say, I usually am at 25%. Once I have my Black Hand Breath in, here, I'll put it in. I'm at 25% unbuffed. And by the time I drink my Mongoose Elixir, that's like another 3%. Druid buff, I'll be close to 30%. And then like agility food, it's only like 10. But I'll be around like 30 agility with regular buffs, and then world buffs I could get up to like 45% crit. Offhand dagger. Oh, I skipped over it. I was talking about how bad my main hand was. Forgot to show my offhand. I have the best pre-raid offhand besides Alcor's. So you can buy Alcor Sunraiser for like 700 gold, the purple dagger, or you can use Bone Scraper. Bone Scraper is just a tiny bit worse, but I finally got this bad boy. Watch your videos about the Shadowcraft gears. Yeah, Helgi. So basically, I did include the crits, but if you remove the crits, it doesn't really change anything. For my character at least. Maybe someone else with way less crit chance would just do less damage overall. I mean, I don't think the hit chance or crit chance affects the calculation too much. He didn't have any crit buffs. Maybe he just had a lot of raid gear. It's the only thing I can think of. Maybe he just got really lucky. Let me put everything in. Okay, and trinket. And we're good. Is it worth it to break the Devil's Sword set for the +5 dagger gloves? Yes. Yes. Going to 310 weapon skill is. Now, if you can... the gloves are just really good. So if you have aged core leather gloves, like for example, right now, I have Devil's Sword in my bag. I have broken Devil's Sword in order to use the aged core leather gloves. So I definitely believe that the gloves are going to be more damage because of the glancing blows, and they're also they're really good gloves. You have crit with them as well, and so the glancing blows is a lot of damage. I think I've caught up to all the questions. Sure, Zeno. Another good offhand is Scarlet Chris. I still carry it around with me, but that's another good option as well. Actually, let me join TeamSpeak. We use TeamSpeak. I don't know why, but and we'll see. You guys can probably hear them, but let me know if you want them muted or not. What trinkets are you using? I wish I had Hand of Justice, but I don't. So I'm using the 2% hit from Dire Maul. Thanks for the follow, Corv. Actually, I don't think you guys can hear him in TeamSpeak. Either way. Okay, you had 30% crit, but in logs you only get 11% crit attacks. Huh. That's weird. Glancing blows. Glancing blows are getting you. Yeah, so your white hits, your crit is gonna go look lower because you have a lot of glancing blows, and you don't have enough hit. These are the 2 daggers I'm using today, Valentina. Shadowfoot Stabber. Are we really having to run out? This is kind of embarrassing. Basically what happens there's such a thing as a crit cap that is bounded by your hit. So what it means is if you don't have enough hit chance and you have a lot of crit chance, what will end up happening is you miss so much with your white attacks that they cut into your crits. So my guess is you do not have enough hit. So that's my guess on why your crit chance is so low, is that you don't have enough hit. So I would try to swap in some hit gear. And that might happen, for example, if you're running Shadowcraft and you don't have, and you're missing a lot of the rings or the trinket. Best case scenario, you're not even using a hit trinket, but if you don't have any hit on your gear, basically, you're going to be in trouble. 2% hit on your gear. Yeah, 2%'s a little low. I would try to either get Devil Sword in addition to the Shadowcraft, or some of the Elvish rings, or equip a hit trinket if you don't have one of the best ones. You could go for Satyr Bow. Helgi, you only need 6% hit if you have 305 weapon skill. Yeah, Patrick, 30% is still a chance, but 30% is still like he said 11%. So I'm pretty sure that if he really had 30% crit chance and he only got 11%, something's going on. Yeah, but basically, Helgi, if you have if you have like the talent for weapon expertise, you actually only need 6% hit to be soft capped with your abilities. So that means all your abilities will hit. Yeah, so this is pretty boring. You basically just you shouldn't actually attack these guys. Oh, I think I know what to do. Actually, if I do this to this, I think you guys can hear game sounds now. Let me see if I can get game sounds to work. Yeah, I don't know. I might have screwed up the game sounds. Do you recommend 310 daggers or 315? 315 daggers is completely useless. Well, practically useless. 310 will make all of your glancing blows deal near full damage. I think it's like exactly full damage. And meanwhile, going from 310 to 315 only gives you like a really small increase in hit. It pretty much does nothing. So yeah, I agree with everyone else in the chat right on there that more than 310 is useless. Not literally useless, but pretty close. You'll get like 0.2 hit for every five hit or a 5 weapon skill, but 0.2 hit is not much. So I have 7% overall hit, one more than that is needed. Well, again, with hit, 6% is the requirement. You can have more hit, but 6% is the requirement in order to never miss with abilities. Yellow hits will never miss if you have 6% hit and 305 weapon skill. However, your white hits, you still need hit chance to make them not miss. So you need 24% hit before your or 25 because it's slightly higher than 24. You need 25% hit in order to never miss with your auto attacks. So hit rating is still good past the soft cap, and that's why it's called a soft cap and not a hard cap. But that's just for dual wielding. Other classes like warriors, they as soon as they get their 9% or 6% if they have the weapon skill, they're done. No, it's not overboard, Aryan, because like for example, right now I have 10% hit chance. No percent of that is wasted. In fact, I'm still looking for gear with more hit on it because hit increases your damage. Your white swings do a lot of damage. So hit is still good after the soft cap. I should just actually walk around instead of doing the skip. All right. I'm going to unmute my TeamSpeak, see if they're saying anything. All right, I'm going to elixir up. Any one of the good ones apply a deer, but yep, exactly, Patrick. Some of the daggers, for example, I'm not using Barman Shanker right now because it's not going to be, if it procs on Onyxia, it's not going to be good. So I'm not going to use Barman Shanker. Okay. So I'm going to drink an elixir of giants. I'm going to drink a mongoose. I've got agility food running. Gonna apply my poisons. All right, let's see. Your yellow crit was 11%. You probably just got unlucky then on your, because your yellow hits, unless you're attacking from the front of the target. Maybe that was your mistake. You shouldn't have that. If your crit chance on your character says 30%, you should not be hitting for 11% crit chance. All right. See. Yeah, maybe bad RNG, honestly. Based on what you've described, I think you just got really unlucky in the fight. Oh, you got Perdition Blade. Grats, Solari. I'm still waiting for my Perdition Blade one of these days. But, man, it's such a good dagger. You're going to use it for ages. Grats on that one. I think the server... Is there anything else I need to do? I'm buffed up. I'm going to go out of stealth. So, I'm going to be going over like pretty much everything that I can think of that you might want to do on the fight. Now, okay, I should have that sorted out. So it's really important when on pull, do not be in stealth. If you are in stealth on pull against Onyxia, you're doing it wrong. It's very important that you stay with the group, that you run with everyone, and that you do not leave your character in a bad area. So you don't want to be behind the dragon. You don't want to be in front of the dragon. So you're going to want to move with everyone. And the big things about rogues is against Onyxia, you want to be cheating the system. So when the guild leader or the group says not to damage, you want to keep doing damage and you want to feint. So you really want to be careful with your threat against Onyxia, because you can really help the group by doing a lot of damage at phase 1, saving a lot of healer mana. However, if you pull threat, you can also just wipe the group. So you got to be careful. Is 305 weapon skill 5% hit? No. 305 weapon skill gives you about 3% hit. So that the soft hit cap is only 6%. So that's how. Which main hand do I have? Shadowfoot Stabber. All right. So you want to stick with the pack, and you want to make sure that you are behind Onyxia's head, but in front of the tail. And you don't want to attack until you're going to have plenty of time to get ahead in DPS as a rogue. And you can back up really far from the boss. So I'm all the way back here, and I'm still in great shape. So I'm going to be backstabbing. I probably won't be answering any questions during the fight, but afterwards I'll try and get to them all. And I'm doing pretty good on threat. You can see the other rogue is getting a little dangerous on threat. I think they need to be feinting a little more. But I'm just feinting off cooldown, backstabbing right now. Not too much happening. Now, it's really important that you save all your cooldowns. I'm getting a little close on threat too, so I'm going to be careful. I'm honestly just going to vanish here. I'm getting a little too close on threat. Threat meter might not be completely accurate, especially with feint. So I could have just pulled the boss at any moment. So I'm going to go ahead and vanish early. It's not too big of a deal if you can afford to save it. All right. When you see phase 2 soon from your DBN, pop all your cooldowns. Well, I popped them a little too soon. I trusted DBM a little too much. This is when you want to pop all your cooldowns. So I was a little early on the cooldowns, which isn't going to affect my DPS. but it is going to affect my group, right? Because you want to do as much damage as possible once she starts running. So I could have done a better job there of waiting longer, but the add-on can be a little inconsistent. You can still backstab the boss. So right now, I'm getting a few more hits in. Now you want to go to the side and kill the whelps. And I Blade Flurried for extra damage on Onyxia. It's up to you guys if you want to do that. It's going to help your group more than if you were to use it on the whelps, because the whelps are pretty much always going to die guaranteed. You've got plenty of DPS to kill them. But that Blade Flurry damage on the boss actually is going to push you to phase 3 faster. So it's up to you what you guys want to do. But I use Blade Flurry sometimes. Sometimes I hold it for the whelps, but if you have a big group, you really don't need it. So I'm going to stand where it's safe right now based on... So Onyxia has the breath wherever she is. So right now she's in the top left. She's going to do diagonal across the... wherever her head's facing, she's going to flame the whole room. So we're just chilling now. Stage 3 soon. Oh, I should be shooting my bow, by the way. That's silly of me not to. Sometimes Onyxia is not in range. You also want to be careful going near the whelps because you can sometimes pull them. So stage 3 is coming soon. You want to go north for stage 3. Should be safe for this breath. Well, that's awkward. I thought I was safe for the breath. I was also sitting on top of the raid leader to make sure that I was safe for the breath, but I guess he wasn't safe for it either. Oh, there goes the top DPS. Well, now I can answer questions. Yo, I'm level 55. Should I start spamming dungeons for Priebus? It's up to you. I didn't start spamming dungeons till 60. I wanted to level for fun. Rip. I shouldn't have. I was assuming that the raid leader was in the right spot, and I just kind of sat by him because I was trying to talk to you guys. But wait, we're actually wiping on Ani. This is kind of embarrassing. I think what happened is the whole raid thought we were safe, and then we all died to Ani, and I'll just put people on flying. I was doing before I died, I was like top 3 DPS. I'm behind the rogue now. I used to be top DPS, but now the other rogue has a epic dagger. How come fiery on Shadowfoot Stabber instead of +5? I don't have enough money for it. I could enchant the Shadowfoot Stabber right now, and then I just got a few gold yesterday, so maybe I can afford it today, but it's like a 60 gold enchant, and I'd be going pretty low. Also, Shadowfoot Stabber sucks. So it kind of feels bad enchanting it, but yeah, I probably should have an enchant on it. If I don't get yeah, I could make the +3. I was also just hoping eventually I'd get a dagger, but haven't had any daggers in like weeks, so. We haven't wiped on Onyxia in a while. But you're right, Sermanios, that like the best enchant for main hand would be plus weapon. But yeah, so for this next kill, I'm going to save my Blade Fury and my Adrenaline Rush a little bit longer. I need to get the add-on. I forgot to do it. There's a good add-on that tells you boss percent, and that's better to go off of rather than like the DPM. Yeah, that would be a good strat, PYC, but I don't know if our healers could keep up. Sometimes when we're spread out, it gets sketchy, but we haven't been doing that strat where we all group up and get hit by the fireball. We kind of have been just trying to keep as many people alive as possible, stop DPS when the boss lands, and try and have tanks pop cooldowns to try and pull aggro. Kind of want to enchant my offhand with Crusader, but I'm using the Bone Scraper. Bone Scraper I would enchant. Like right now I have Bone Scraper. I enchanted it with Crusader because it is pre-raid, best in slot. Yeah, it is kind of a pity to put it on the Shadowfoot Stabber. It was kind of like a sunk cost. Had I done it day one, I really wouldn't have regretted it. The problem was I didn't end up enchanting it. I just put like Fiery on it, expecting to replace it. And I haven't been able to replace it yet. So I kind of have been using a temporary dagger for a long time. Yeah, we could use fire protection elixirs. I didn't even bring them. There are some fights where you need the fire protection potion, and there's other fights where you really shouldn't have to use them. And they're 5 gold a piece. So how many people do we have in here right now? What, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? We have 28. So 28 times 5. It's going to be a lot of gold wasted when we could just do the fight properly and not... Does Fireball... I did not think Fireball equally distributed the damage. Does Fireball equally distribute the damage? Because they do a lot more than 200 damage, PYC. Just hug. You need the Dharma West Dagger. Don't have Age Core Leather Gloves. Yeah, I guess that is true. Do you happen to have Mugger's Belt? I don't know if that fits into your build, but you can get away with using Mugger's Belt. Rip. Now I have to reuse all my consumables. I hate wiping on Onyxia because she's pretty easy. Should I enchant Crusader on my Thrashblade and Mirror Song or wait for some better weapons? Depends, Krez. If you're close to having enough gold to buy Crawlblade, I would hold off and buy Crawlblade, but you're probably going to use Thrashblade Mirror Song for a while, so I don't think it's a waste, especially if you're going into raiding. You kind of want to try and get as much gear as you can before raid day and then kind of enchant up with what you got if you're trying to do as much damage as you can. Is there anything else I need to pop here? Yeah, my Juju. That's what I'm forgetting. All right, we got our poisons up still. We're good. Damage by Fireball will share to all. Yeah, then we probably want to group up. Is it better to Bone Scraper ×2 or Shadowfoot on your main hand? Bone Scraper is not a good main hand. I actually passed on a second Bone Scraper. I could have too, but you want a slow main hand because it will increase the damage of your ambush and backstab. So if you read the tooltip, it says backstab the target, causing 150% weapon damage. If you do not have a slow weapon, your weapon damage will just be really low. So your backstabs won't do any damage. Worth buying Crawlblade for 350. I don't know the specifics of your server. Usually it's like 300 on mine, so it's not too far out. But that might be high or low depending on what server you're on. I don't know. But it's 300 on my server, so hopefully that helps. Cool Ani stream, yeah, we'll see. We already died to Onyxia, which is, are we killing respawns? Or are we summoning? I don't know what we're doing. I guess we're clearing ads. Don't know why, but yeah, but just shoot your bow against these guys. It's not worth it to go in and get flamed. There's a 0% chance your group wipes to the ad, and if you go in and start doing damage, you might die. And not worth the consumables or the repair bill. Our locks don't have shards. Oh, that's awkward. We're killing mobs for shards. That's not good. Is Fell Striker BIS? It is pre-raid BIS. Perdition Blade is better. I'm just gonna chill by Onyxia. So I'll try and talk about what I'm doing, but I'll probably try and focus a little more this time and not rely on my teammates to make sure I'm not in the flame. Not really used to streaming and playing yet, but I guess we're just summoning someone. I don't try and figure out who it is. I don't see anyone missing. Done over 50 rend kills yet. Haven't seen Fell Striker. Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to have a Fell Striker, but I'm not going to go for it. I don't know the actual drop rate, but the add-on says that it's really, really low. The add-on says 0.2%. 0.2%, come on. That means like 1 in 500 runs. So that's not interested in doing that. Is Heartseeker Dagger worth making? Depends how much money you have. I can't really afford it. I definitely wouldn't make Heartseeker before you have a mount. I would buy your mount first. But if you've already bought your epic mount and you got a lot of gold, yeah, you could buy Heartseeker. I mean, you're going to replace it in raid. But it's kind of similar situation to like buying an Arcanite Reaper, right? It's really expensive, but it's really good. Not worth, in your opinion? Just get the Shadowfoot Stabber. Yeah. If you're trying to do as much damage as possible, it could be worth the gold. Just depends what your goals are in the game. What do you think about the Shadowcraft 6-set bonus? I think the Shadowcraft 6-set bonus is very good. I am currently using this Shadowcraft 6-set. You will get Bloodfang Helm. We'll see. How many rogues do we have in here? We've got 5 rogues, so good luck getting that. You're better off buying a bunch of consumables worth 300 gold. Yeah, if you were to upgrade the dagger and then not have consumables, then yeah. Tiny Threat works now. Yeah, I've been using Tiny Threat pretty much all of Classic without any issues. I think maybe specific versions of the add-on might not have been working. Would you use Heartseeker main hand if you have Distracting Dagger? Yes. You want to have a slow weapon in your main hand and a fast weapon in your offhand. Or the speed in the offhand doesn't matter as much, but you mainly want a slow weapon in your main hand. What pieces of Shadowcraft do you use? Everything except the shoulders and the gloves. But I recommend for Shadowcraft, you use everything but hands and legs, and then use Devil Sword. That'd be my recommendation. I just have epic gloves, so. We're on threat. So this time I'm going to feint a little less and vanish earlier. Getting a little high on threat. I think you have to like feint off CD on pull, but I'm going to try and vanish sooner so that I don't have to keep fainting. It's just really important you don't pull, so. And I see the chat moving, but I can't read it at the moment, so I'll try and catch up after. I feel like the tank should be in a good spot. I shouldn't have to, I'm going to go ahead and vanish here. So vanish once I have 60 energy so I can immediately ambush. It's just a dagger rogue thing, so don't worry about it if you're swords. I think we're at about 75%, so we still have time. %68%, so I'm going to go ahead and pop everything. I don't think, there we go. Thistle T. Use my eviscerate. Throw in a couple of backstabs. And now we're on to whelps. So I'm going to spread out a little bit. I got fireballed. I'm not going to, I could bandage here, but I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to, if I get hit by something else, I want to, okay, there we go. I was actually thinking about, okay, going to the side so I don't get breathed. When she's in the middle, she does it right down the center. Rip. All right, we're in a safe spot now. Get some sinister strikes in here. So you want to run to this corner. So like I could stay right next to Onyxia and get some autos in. Or not autos actually. Only attacks like ability sinister strikes. But I'm going to go ahead and move. We all got hit by that one. I'm going to bandage. Below 50% I'm going to bandage just to make sure. So just killing whelps. But anyway, to complete my thought, you can sit right to next to Onyxia and attack her, but usually that gives you a higher chance of getting hit by the breath. So it is risky to go over and attack her. So I got a few hits in right after she breathed. Then I got to safety. So she's landing. You want to get away from the whelp cave, and you want to run north. So I'm just going to chill here. Getting ready to turn if I pull. Because you need to turn the dragon here. He's going to wipe the raid. He's going to wipe the raid. He's going to wipe the raid. Okay, our tank got her. I need to move so I don't get tailed. All right. So just chill. No need to take aggro right away. Okay, do we have ads on this side? They're on the other side. I can't help with that. So I'm going to get into a good position. You don't want to stand in the fire gaps. So I'm going to start doing damage again. I think the threat add-ons are pretty useless for phase 3, so you kind of just want to make sure you don't pull, but I think I should be good. I'm going to save Blade Flurry a little longer because I'm not going to have time for 2 in the fight anyway, and I want to make sure I give the tank as much time as possible. So use your energy before I'm going to bandage here. I'm a little worried I'm too close to the tail, to be honest. I might need to potion here. Okay, back into position. Holy crap. Alright, good thing I saved my Blade Flurry. We have way too many whelps here. This is not good. Okay. Uh-oh, this is bad. Somehow our hunter got threat and then feint resisted. That's why you want to be careful with threat, because sometimes it's wonky and you can pull threat out of nowhere. All right, hopefully I don't get flamed here. I'm going to pop a baby pot just in case here. I'm not going to slice and dice. Think he's going to die too quickly. Big eviscerate. I don't have any more CDs. No T. I'm going to sprint to get back to him faster. And should go down here. How was I behind him? Or in front? There we go. Wait, we didn't even have Master Looter on? That's awkward. Alright. I'm going to pass. I'm going to turn up TeamSpeak to figure out what we're going to do about not having Master Loot on. Oh, everyone passes, and then it'll be distributed. I can't believe we didn't have everything on Master Looter. That's awkward. Feint is bugged with Ani. Feign Death, maybe. I think Feign works, or Feint works just fine, or else I would have pulled aggro that guy. All right, so I ended up in top 2 DPS. Unfortunately, I no longer out DPS X-Smoke. X-Smoke got the Epic Dagger, so I no longer out damage them, but I think second's still good, considering I don't have the Epic Dagger. And let's see how we did. Pretty standard looking damage breakdown. Top DPS. Yeah, man. Sorry. Last week I was, but now I'm second. Rip. Don't worry. Once I get my dagger, I'll be back on the top. Actually, yeah, I want to check my crit now that you guys are reminding me. My agility food wore off, but I'm at 29%. With food buff, I'd be right almost exactly 29%. I'm worried Seal Fate build is not going to be good unless you have world buffs. I feel like I just don't have enough crit for it at all, not even close. I don't think I'm allowed to roll on anything, to be honest. That dropped. Seal isn't viable for a while. I think if you get world buffs that give you crit, it might make up for the fact that you don't have enough crit gear. But yeah, the issue, not only do you need a lot of hit with the Seal Fate build, you need a lot of crit, but you need to make sure that you're actually not like fully equipping crit gear and sacrificing everything else. I don't think Seal Fate will be good for a while. Top 2 DPS in next week's title. I don't know, maybe in Molten Core I'll get the dagger, and then I'll be back to top 1. Oh, I'm allowed to roll. Sick. Oh, I just wasted my roll. That could have been on a dagger. I don't think anyone's going to beat 99. I think I got an item here. Get the neck. I forgot to loot it. I forgot about that we passed on everything, sorry. Yeah, normally you just get master looted, but since we passed everything, I had to go loot it. All right, well, I got an item. I got lucky. I had to outroll a lot of melee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that wasn't that many people that rolled for it. You would one-shot my whole guild? Well, I'll have to watch out for you, John. Yeah, just distributing the bags now. Sick. So I think melee were allowed to roll on the head of Onyxia. The tanks have already got it, so they had priority. But now it goes to melee DPS. I might have passed it to like warriors or something if... But I feel like I've gone to enough raids that I think 2 raid pieces is fine. Guess what dropped? Oh, yo, what dropped, Grumpy? We had, I think, 2. I think we had 2. Actually, wait, /loot. Okay, good. So we had 2 crowns, 2 mage heads. Head of Onyxia, obviously. I actually got that one, so I have the... I'm going to get the neck now. And what was the last one? Then the Grimoire. Can you show how much energy you received? I don't think... I think I tried looking at this before. I don't think it works, but I'll try and see if I can get it. I want to have a way to track the... is it like statistics? Resources, energy generated. Rogue armor energized. So I got as much energy back from my set bonus as relentless strikes. So that's pretty good. Thanks for letting me know to show that, PYC, because I didn't realize this is perfect. Now I can get a better idea of how often the Shadowcraft procs. So let me divide. I would guess that I had 210 energy gained from Seal Fate. And I'm just going to guess that because it's a multiple of 35. So I think it's 210 divided by 35. I think I had 6 Shadowcraft procs in the fight, in just that one of them pulled 14 energy. What does the head give? You can turn in the head for a big buff, and then you get to choose a quest item. So I'm gonna get a really good neck, and then it will give a buff to everyone in org. Is this the famous rogue with purple weapons? Yeah. Trash rogue gets second on DPS meter with 2 purple weapons. Gotta put them back on. I'm gonna ask my raid leader real quick. I need to boost volume in Discord. Or actually, I think my mic is not set up. Ooh, maybe I need to use this mic. Am I good to use the turn in the Ani head right away? All right, cool. Thanks. I'm just trying to figure out if I can use my Ani head. No, I don't mind. Just say the word and I'll hold on to it. Looks like we might hold it. All right, so I'm gonna start dumping stuff back in my bank. All right, did I miss any questions? Okay, I do have Barman. Is that better main hand than Heartseeker? Levi, Barman Shanker is better than Heartseeker marginally, if you're allowed to even equip it. So it's neck and neck with Heartseeker for the main hand. It's just that Barman Shanker has a really bad debuff, so you have to unequip it in a lot of fights. So I have Barman Shanker. I had to unequip it against Onyxia because that proc to bleed is actually you don't want to use it in raid because it's going to take up a debuff slot. Sir Manius, the reason why Shadowfoot Stabber is unknown until recently is because it wasn't added until late vanilla. So no one was really expecting it to be in the game on launch. Would you rather have Fell Striker as offhand and Perdition Blade as main hand? I would rather have Perdition Blade main hand and Core Hound in the off. Tight. I think tier 2 legs or tier 2 head, I mean, they're both really good. I guess pref head slightly. Anyway. All right, let's see what else we have. Did I miss anything else? I'm trying at the moment, have pre-raid Biss, Core Hound Tooth as main weapon. Sick. You want the book for the priest, the grimoire? Okay. Well, I'm dumb. You're the guy who made the video with the shadow. Yep. After the stats, you can transform into DPS. Thanks for the answer. Heartseeker is still better because the 1% crit. I mean, hearts. So if you like win. Okay. Crusader ×2 still Biss? No. You for swords, yes. But if you're playing daggers, you put striking on your main hand. I'm gonna get out of TeamSpeak. All right, cool. Now that I don't have to hear TeamSpeak in my ear, it'll be easier to read stuff. What gear do you currently have equipped? Were you running Shadowcraft during Ani? I didn't see. Yes, I was running 6 at Shadowcraft. It procced 6 times during the Ani fight. And I wonder why he didn't get as many procs. He's playing swords. I wonder if he just didn't keep slice and dice uptime up enough or doesn't have enough hit. I don't know why I had so much more. Maybe the add-on's just buggy. BIS is short for best in slot, Dakota. It just means the best available option. All right, let me put some stuff away in my bank, and I guess I'll try and find a Strat Live group. Let me see. I'm not sure if I have the go-ahead to get the neck. Let me whisper the guild leader again. To make sure, comment, am I saving? All right, I'm just going to double check if I can get my neck. No Hodge. Dakota, I've been trying to get the Hodge. Have not gotten it to drop yet. Okay. All right, so I'm going to turn in the Ani head. Got a sick piece. I don't need a neck. I'm actually really glad I got the neck. So that way I don't have to move stuff around for Shadowcraft. Because while Shadowcraft is really good, it obviously comes at a cost, right? It takes 6 items, and if I would have gotten, like, even if I get the head, I would have had to then farm Strat Live to get the shoulders to maintain the set bonus. All right, I'm going to send a couple stuff, and then I'll be able to actually play the game again. I'm going to mail away some of my consumables, do my bank alt. And I think I don't need the cash anymore, and we're good. I'll mail the Thistletea. Got it first run, thank God. Oh, you got the Hodge first run? Nice. That's pretty lucky. Did anyone want to do Strat Live? I'll do live if you still need DPS. I can tank it. Hey, chill. Okay, comma. Let's start the live group. heals DPS for strat live? Shark. Come to strat live. We just need a healer and DPS now. Okay, I think have everything I need. I'll just start running to the instance. All right, let's catch up on everything. Less attacks because swords are less attack speed. Yes, XVN. I just wasn't expecting it to be so dramatic. I don't know if he wasn't keeping up slice and dice. I don't know if he wasn't auto-attacking enough, but for some reason I completely doubled his set bonus procs. But it could just be luck and variance. What am I trying to get from strat? I would like the Shadowcraft shoulders. If I get the Shadowcraft shoulders, then I'll have, it's the only piece of Shadowcraft I don't have, and I'll have a little more flexibility. Right now, if I get any raid piece, I would not be able to equip it because I wanted to maintain my Shadowcraft. However, if I get the shoulders, I'll be able to equip any piece that I get from raid. And then also it means immediately I could try and get Cadaverous armor and equip that in the chest instead of using the Shadowcraft tunic. So if you get the Shadowcraft 8 set, it gives you a lot of flexibility because you can mix and match to, you only want to equip 6 at a time, but it gives you flexibility. You got DC'd, what did you mix? I think you were there, Grumpy, when we killed it. Or at least after the loot was going out. Haven't really done much. Oh, I need to go turn in my head real quick. Is the Shadowcraft shoulders better than True Strike? No, they are not. However, Cadaverous armor is more of a damage increase over the tunic than True Strike is over the shoulders, if that makes sense. So the Shadowcraft shoulders are actually pretty good. The Shadowcraft chest kind of sucks. And Cadaverous armor is really good, and True Strike's really good. So if you had to choose, like in my case, because I can't use Devil Sword because I have the aged cord leather gloves, it's best for my character right now to try and get Cadaverous armor and then the Shadowcraft shoulders. Or alternatively, like I could get the bracers from Dire Maul West and I could put those in and then the Shadowcraft shoulders. So if I get the Shadowcraft shoulders, I'll be able to unlock a piece to swap around the gear. Where do you even turn this thing in? I think you just go straight to Thrall, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure a head is already up. So I'm not going to warn people that I'm turning in the Ani head. Guild. Fish lighting. Okay, last call, comma, heals / DPS. Live before we pug. And I'm going to start pugging. Looking for 2 more. Heals, DPS, strat live. First orb reserved for tank. It's a little awkward that our tank wanted to reserve the first orb in a guild run, but whatever. Guess I'd rather have a good tank in the guild reserve it than just a regular. All right. All right, so we'll get our neck, and then we'll head on down to Strat Live. I'm down. All right, we got a healer. Invite. Valley of Strength. As long as you don't need Shadowcraft shoulders. I'll invite him. There's no way a warrior's going to roll need on Shadowcraft shoulders. So we're good. I don't understand why tanks get to reserve the first orb. Well, it's simply because if you don't have a tank, you can't do the dungeon. And so tanks are the rarest of all, most in-demand class. So they, you basically think of it like this, Grumpy. You aren't going to get the, you're not going to get the dungeon done unless you let the tank have the first orb. Now, do I wish tanks were just chill and just like did the dungeon without requiring an orb, yeah, but at the same time, if there's nothing in it for them, I mean, why are they going to want to do the instance? So it just comes down to the fact I don't like it, but everybody needs tanks, and tanks know about that, so they get to make the rules. Yeah, and I advertised about the... Okay. All right, here we are. Onyxia Tooth Pendant. Boom. Sick. So there's already an Ani head up, so no buff today, but look at that. Got a perp. Yeah, the necklace is really good. So if you look at it as an upgrade from what I just got, I'm going to lose a little bit of attack power, but I gain 1% hit, and it's really not that big of an upgrade, but the stamina and the fire res is nice. I think it's a little better for warriors, but I think most of the warriors already have it, except for the newer recruit warriors. How is Strat Live run? Well, Stratholme has two parts of the dungeon. One way, you go and fight a bunch of Scarlet Monastery dudes. The other way, you kill a bunch of undead dudes. So we're just going to go through half of the instance and go down to... I think they have the order right in the add-on. Yeah, we're going to kill the Unforgiven first. Then we're going to kill Timmy. Then we're going to... Actually, I can show models. Look at that. A use for the add-on. We're going to kill the Unforgiven first, then Timmy. Malar doesn't drop anything. Sometimes people skip him. He has a quest item, though. Then we're going to kill Canonmaster. This is the guy who drops my shoulders. And then Archivist. And then Balnazar, last boss. So that's how you run Strat Live. Or just a quick... some dungeons are super boring to tank, therefore no one does them for free. I think it mainly the dungeons that the tanks don't do for free are the boring ones. Or I mean the long ones and the ones they don't get any loot from. I guess being boring has a factor, but I feel like most tanks are more motivated by gear than boredom, I guess. What's your plan if you get Night Slayer piece or something for MC that breaks Shadowcraft? Well, I'm trying to get the shoulders so that I have full 8 Shadowcraft, so that I am able to equip 2 raid pieces and still maintain Shadowcraft. By the time I get 3 or 4 raid pieces, talking about like, you know, Shadowcraft slots, so like head, neck, shoulder, pant, that kind of thing. At that point, I'll run 4 Shadowcraft and 4 raid pieces. So it'll still be good. So I'm not too worried about having to break Shadowcraft, because that'll mean I have raid gear. So it's a win-win. And I can still use the 4 set. Martin. Yeah, after they have their BIS, yeah. I mean, I feel like after the tanks have their BIS, they don't do any runs. I haven't encountered any warriors that have done a run just for fun. They either do it to help their guildies, or if they're getting something, like getting paid. I've actually never seen a warrior that was full BIS just doing a run for fun. Scullo and DM West is the ones you hate most. Yeah, DM West is pretty tough, because every DM West group I've gone into, it's like you have to... it's just a lot of typing, because I have to tell people not to do stuff. So there's like a lot of important things, like you need to LOS in Dire Maul West on a lot of pools or you're going to die, and you need to pull to specific locations or you're going to die. And there's some skips you can do that save a lot of time, but they can also get your group wiped. So Dire Maul West is kind of a lot of work if you want to try and keep the group under control. Man, this is Epis taking forever. That's how I got my pre-raid BIS. I paid for 2 of our guild tanks. You're fully pre-BIS now? Oh, you paid your guild tanks? Most guild tanks will do it for free, but you have to do it on their terms, right? So a lot of times if they're feeling up to it, they'll do it for free. What about healer? There's a lot of healing classes, and the reason is because a lot of people played druids, played shamans, and even played priests. Mainly the druids and the shamans, though, thought that they were going to DPS, and then they get the 60, and everyone yells at them to heal. So there's actually a lot of healers, because there's like 3 classes that heal, whereas tanks, there's only 2 classes, at least on Horde side. And druid is like one of the least popular classes, and most people aren't feral. So really, it's like 1 class for tanking. You only get a couple ferals. Is it worth getting dagger skill while I'm trying to seal to reduce glancing? Yeah. I would try and get to 310 if you're doing seal. Now, all the seal abilities and stuff don't really have anything to do with your white swings, but it's still going to be a large portion of your damage. Yeah, too many healers, yep. But man, I can't believe I rolled a 99 on this thing. I really wish I could have just rolled a 99 on the Corehound Tooth last week. That's why like raid gear is super awkward. It's kind of gearing in general is like, do I really want to roll on this item? I don't need it that badly, but the problem is if you keep saying that, like, oh, I don't need it that badly, you end up with no gear. So you kind of have to just roll on stuff that you don't really need that badly. And then on the pieces that you really want, I mean, unless you can like make deals with your guild. Yeah, Martin, I do know ferals exist. You're just like one of the least popular specs. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true because some are completely useless. Man, am I the last one there? Yeah, I'm going to be kind of the last one there. I kind of wasted a little bit of time putting stuff in my bank and then running to turn in the neck. Got Night Slayer bracers last night. Congrats, man. Unfortunately, the Night Slayer bracelets aren't one of the best pieces, but probably the worst rogue set piece. But for Night Slayer. But they're still decent. You're one of my guildies, Terrence. Which guildie are you? Would you roll on the cloak from Ragnaros? No, I don't. I wouldn't. I would definitely. I would almost off spec roll that one. Like if once all of the tanks have it, and nobody wants it, maybe. Where is it? Not this one. Yeah, the agility one. Like I wouldn't roll on this cloak. Not unless everyone else who wants it, like all of the tanks, all the off tanks have it. It's actually less damage than Cape of the Black Baron. And it's only a little bit of fire resistance and stamina. I would still take it. Take a wild guess you're a rogue. All right. Terrence? Which rogue is Terrence? Are you going to be the top DPSer, X-Smoke? Were you in Onyxia? I guess I'll ask the hint. Were you this is my one hint. Were you in the Onyxia kill right there? Unless you're Knives, you probably were. I don't think we have that many rogues on right now. Oh, you might be Jazzers. You might be Evil Cyrus. Okay, now I see my options. All right, I'm gonna take my guess. You are Visage. Oh, I wasn't even guessing yet. Oh, you were X-Smoke? Was that my first guess? What macros do you have there? I have a bunch of useless ones. I have a few for like looking for group. I have a bunch to switch weapons because you can just switch weapons with a macro. You could also keybind like with certain add-ons. I have a couple, like it's useful to have dance bound if you are doing strat live because you can like dance. Sick. Yeah, X-Smoke is Terrence. X-Smoke and I have done a few runs for the for Hodge and Anger runs. I'm going to live strat. Yeah, X-Smoke's top damage rogue now. I think you're gonna pass. Even you got sapped with that new dagger. Let's see. You had 3 tier 1 pieces on your first run, then passed on Viscar. Oh, you see, that's what I mean. Yeah, the Viscag drops so rarely. You really don't want to pass on like weapons and stuff because they have pretty low drop rates and they're really influential. But yeah, I get what you mean, Aurelian. That's the thing with some of the roles is that like for example, that neck, I really don't need it that much. It's not a huge upgrade over the Mark of Fordring, but at the same time, right? It's kind of the same thing with like most Night Slayer pieces, right? They're like slight upgrades, but you have to start rolling on stuff at some point, or else you're just never going to get geared. You don't know Sapt is really good? I think you're going to out DPS him. I believe in you, X-Smoke. I believe in you. So 6-piece Shadowcraft over tier 1. I would say 6-piece Shadowcraft is better than like 1 or 2 pieces of tier 1. But if you have like 3 or 4 pieces, I would definitely rock tier 1. Iwabu. Basically how hit works, you only need 6% hit from gear if you have 305 weapon skill. So human rogues, like you mentioned, they get it for free if they're playing swords, but pretty much any combat rogue is going to have weapon expertise. So you only need 6% hit chance to be soft capped, which means your abilities don't miss. After 6%, you still gain damage from hit because your white swings will hit with a higher rate. You're sitting at 12% hit. Yeah, that's fine. You still need to hit past 6% because of your auto attacks. Like in that fight, my auto attacks did 40% damage. So if you have more hit, then most of your damage is actually going to be increasing still. Should you replace Mirror Song offhand with Gutgore Ripper as a sword rogue? 10 more DPS but lose sword spec. That's pretty tough. Honestly, if I were you, I would just respec to daggers. I would respec daggers. If you had I would respec daggers if you have Gutgore Ripper. Iwabu, I think Gutgore Ripper is pretty safe to use in raids because I believe most of the bosses are immune to the debuff. I know our tank actually uses it in raid, and I don't think it's been an issue. So I think Gutgore Ripper is safe to use. There's certain debuffs that bosses are pretty much always immune to, so you can still use them. Which 2 pieces would you add? 6 Shadowcraft 2 if you had them all. 2 Yep, I would say 2 times Devil Sword set. Yeah. Robert, I would choose the ideal pre-raid setup would be 6 Shadowcraft, Devil Sword gloves, Devil Sword legs. Jeez, I'm slowing everyone down. Sorry for being slow. Was turning in the Ani head. Yeah, and then I missed the Zeppelin, so kind of slowing everyone down. But they can start without me. I don't need the head from Unforgiven or anything. Is daggers better than better? I thought swords was best. Basically, if you have pre-raid, swords are better. Post-raid, like once you get raid daggers, daggers are better. The daggers from raid are better than the swords from raid. So, and trinkets, Hodge or the fire resist one? I would use Hodge if I had it. I'm still working on getting it though. But I use the fire resistance Dire Maul trinket. It's about as good as the Rune of the Garden Captain, but the Dire Maul one has a little bit of fire res, and since I'm running Shadowcraft, the more hit, the better, because I have a higher chance of getting procs. How much touch do you have? I'm going to assume you mean hit. I currently have 11% hit. With 310 weapon skill, you should replace True Strike shoulders with Worm Tongue shoulders. Can you, what? I don't know about that one. Can you use Night Slayer pants and no Devil Sword hit chance? The basically how it works with Devil Sword is Devil Sword has such a strong set bonus that usually you want the hands and the legs from raid before you replace both. If you just get the legs, it's kind of close, but definitely if you get like the hands from raid, you don't want to replace Devil Sword yet because you lose the set bonus. So is there a crit cap? There is no hard crit cap, but if you have too little hit chance, your misses can actually affect your crit chance. So I guess as simply as I can put it, if you miss with an attack, that attack can't crit. So if you don't have enough hit and your misses you miss so frequent that it chews into your crit chance, then that's effectively the crit cap. But it changes as your gear changes. Using Viscag / Brutality Blade, solid setup. Yeah, I would say Vishkag and Brutality Blade is a solid setup. That's as good as it gets. So is 11% hit decent? I mean, I'm gonna say yes, that's decent, but there's no number that is decent. Once you are soft capped, you just want to go with the best available pieces. It's not like there's a certain hit benchmark that you're going for. If you don't get enough hit, there can be, you can have too much attack power, and at that point, hit will just be very worth getting. So you don't want to just like stay right at the soft cap. Do these guys not have a door? Maybe that's why they were waiting for me. They don't have a key. You keep trying to explain to your GM that Dagger Rogue is not a meme spec? That's kind of funny. Oh, did I actually fail? I failed picking the lock. Yeah, Dagger Rogue is not a meme spec at all. There we go. Should you start stacking hit? Yeah, again, same answer. You shouldn't stack it, nor should you not get it. You just go with the best available pieces, and you'll end up getting a lot of hit. You just want to keep in mind that like hit, just rough numbers, is worth about like 20 attack power. So if you're equipping a piece just for hit, and you're sacrificing too much attack power, then that's not going to be a good idea. Let me enchant things here. We don't have a shaman, so we're good. It's very frustrating. He's handing out Purd Blade to off tanks before rogues. Yeah, that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad for sure. Oh, I see, Spencer. Say you have 40% crit. Should you start stacking hit? Yes. If you have really high crit, you don't want to stack it, but you want to just keep an eye on your crit cap and make sure that you have enough. I don't know what we're doing here. What's the plan, group? We're going live. It's a comfy stream. Thanks, love you. Thanks, butt steam. Appreciate it. What should I use if you got core aged gloves for pants? At that point, like I have core aged leather gloves, so I'm using Shadowcraft legs. But if you're not running this set, Devil Sword legs are really good too. Also, you can get Plague Hound legs. They're actually the best legs. So if you don't have any Shadowcraft going on, and you know you're not going to get Devil Sword, pre-raid, you can look for the Plague Hound leggings. Oh, I'm gonna put in my seal. This is actually not the first time I read that raid leaders or people in general think that Dagger is a meme spec or whatever. Where did that thinking come from? Honestly, I have no clue. Uh, I think it's maybe from leveling, because everyone levels as combat swords. But yeah. Oh, okay. I'll tell you where it came from. I believe on private servers, they and in original vanilla, Perdition Blade was not in the game when Molten Core first launched. So if you take Perdition Blade out of the game right now, swords are better than daggers. So that's probably why everyone is. I mean, it still wouldn't be a meme spec, but it would be inferior to swords if Perdition Blade wasn't in the game. Combat swords is flavor of the month. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of dagger rogues pop up. Yeah, it's really scuffed to give Perdition Blade to tanks over rogues, though. Yeah, I agree. I think, honestly, I think tanks in general just kind of get. I mean, it makes sense to gear them up because the more damage they do, the more threat they give, the more the raid's overall damage goes up. But, I mean, with that logic, every damage item should be going to tanks. There's got to be some point where you say, okay, the tanks are going to take the tank gear, and the DPSers can roll on their DPS gear. And maybe once our DPS don't need it, then maybe the tanks can take it for threat. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how everything goes to the tanks first, especially considering that they're already getting all of their tier gear pretty much uncontested because there's only going to be a couple tanks in the raid. So they're going to gear up much faster than everyone else in terms of just the set pieces. And so you're going to have some tanks with like 8 pieces of raid gear. Meanwhile, the rest of the raid has like 1 piece. So, but it's just kind of okay, good. I didn't pull the ghouls. Hey, great stream. Thanks for answering all the questions. Do you use standard dagger or spec? Or you've changed something? Well, I'm running PvE spec right now. If I should have enough gold to respec this weekend after raid, and then I'll go PvP spec. If I get a dagger from raid, I'll go a dagger PvP spec. If I don't, I'll play mace meme spec just for PvP next week. I'm going to do a lot of PvP next week. I've been doing too many dungeons this week. If I have a crawl blade currently but want to ultimately go daggers, should I bother trying to farm at the pre-raid daggers or just roll on swords until you get daggers? It's up to you. It's perfectly fine to play swords pre-raid because you're going to do more damage than dagger anyway. And then switch. I would make sure you communicate with your guild that you're a dagger rogue. That's really the most important part. It doesn't matter if you play daggers or swords pre-raid. Just make sure that you're able to roll on the daggers and that you get considered for like the aged core leather gloves, stuff like that. Once you get the gloves, I would consider switching over to daggers though. All right, is really no one gonna kill the ads? I have to kill all of them. Okay, I guess it makes sense since since the casters can freely hit the boss, and I guess the warrior should have been killing him instead of just getting all his attacks dodged. Oh, grats. The warrior gets his helmet. You'd rather see tanks with sword Viscag than Perdition? Well, Perdition is better than Viscag for tanks because you want a fast weapon, but I don't think either weapon should go to tanks. It just really doesn't make any sense in my opinion to give Perdition Blade to tanks. Makes them generate more threat, especially since rogues can just vanish to reset threat. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you the counter argument. The guilds are saying the more threat, the less like the Fury warriors have to worry about threat, the less all the other classes that aren't rogues or hunters, right? So it does matter that the tanks get a lot of threat. That is important. And also if the guild is confident that their tanks aren't going to leave the guild, then it's pretty safe investing a lot of gear into the tanks, gearing them up. That way at all times you'll have solid tanks that can do solid threat. The problem is that just means tanks get first priority on rings, neck, bow. They're going to get all of their tier gear really quickly. Then they also get weapons first. They're going to get the shield. So It just basically means tanks get everything, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's how most guilds do it. And it makes sense in terms of min-maxing like the raid team. It does not make sense in terms of like, you know, trying to make sure that a lot of people that are coming to the raid, contributing, doing good damage are getting rewarded. It doesn't follow that paradigm, but agreed. I traded away my core leather gloves because my raid went mental when I said I would use it for PvP. Now I know daggers actually better than swords. Feel kind of, yeah. The core aged leather gloves aren't even that great in PvP. I'm pretty sure weapon skill isn't as relevant in PvP, but I could be wrong. I should research that one a little more, but I was under understanding that weapon skill wasn't that important in PvP. It's mainly raiding daggers, gloves, I thought. Okay, for PvE is combat daggers. Put 5 weapon on main. Yep, 5 weapon damage on main hand and Crusader on offhand is the way to go. Double Crusader is for combat swords. Oh, I need to put my threat meter back. Yeah, you only need 3% hit for PvP. I think you need 5%. Thought the maybe that's still old information though. I haven't done any testing on. It's pretty hard to be that low in PvP anyway. But I better. I should probably do testing in that. That's the other thing. Half of these things I hear now, I just don't know what to believe. Because for a while, everyone thought it was 9% hit cap. Even with the weapon skill. Getting 3% hit isn't really a problem. Yeah. Like right now, I just have I have 4% hit from jewelry now. Jewelry and bow. So I don't even have to worry about like set pieces or anything like that, or main gear, like True Strike or Devil Sword, and I already have 4% now, which is sick. But yeah, second epic. Living the perp life. Gets my fourth purple item though. This guy probably saw me because of the stealth detection. I'm gonna feint this guy just because I've been wailing on him for a while, and the tank was like hurricaning. No real crates yet in here. I wonder if they just, when they were designing strat, they were like, I wonder if we can just make a dungeon so that everyone in the group just feels worthless and the mages feel great. Pretty sure that's what they were thinking when they were making strat. Because these mages just crush the meters in here. All right, I think I'm caught up with chat. What? No. Timmy. I don't need the mace from Timmy anymore. I got the Bashkuden. It's a fake trap too. Hopefully I don't pull. Kick. Going for a certain item in strat? I am. I want the Shadowcraft shoulders. Once I get the Shadowcraft shoulders, then I might do some Scullo to try and get the Cadaverous chest. Once I get the shoulders, then I'll be able to then I can join Scala groups, I can join Dharma West groups. There's a few different upgrades that open up once I have all 8 Shadowcraft pieces. Because that way I can run the 6 set and I can replace any of the pieces that I wish. Because right now I don't have any flexibility in Shadowcraft. I have to equip all of the pieces that except for hands. So okay, we'll kick this one. Okay, Renew's fine. This lady's gonna die immediately anyway. I don't have to kick that one. Man, I just can't get behind these mobs. But yeah, I'm excited for next week. After Saturday, I'll be able to. Maybe I doubt he needs it. After Saturday, I'm gonna respec to PvP spec, and that'll be fun. Might farm some gold and like farm some Devil Sore. Just do some world PvP. Should be more fun than spamming dungeons all day. But I do need to get gold. I just really don't want to pickpocket farm. I feel like I just don't have the time to go to BRM and just pickpocket for hours. Where's Timmy? Oh, Timmy runs over here, right? We'll distract Timmy. Timmy needs to chill out. This guy got destroyed. This warrior like crit or something? Oh, I thought we were gonna kill him. I should have just kicked. Shouldn't have let that water elemental go through. Now the heal goes off. Now I have to switch targets. Wait, did the priest just die? That's awkward. Oh, Timmy hits hard. Yeah, Timmy hits hard. That's how the priest died. Well, look at that. I took one for the team. That was a strategic play to buy time for the tank to battle res the healer. That was a, very, very, very good play. I sacrificed myself to save the group. Timmy hits so hard. How much hit do you get from the human racial? Well, if you have 305 weapon skill, you get effectively 3% hit. So if you're playing human and you don't have any of the you don't have the talent, I'll show you. If you don't have weapon expertise, then the human racial will give you 3% hit. However, if you take weapon expertise and the human racial, you'll get the 3% hit and you'll get a lot of bonus damage to your glancing blows. They'll do full damage. Actually, I should just eat my apples. Jeez, Timmy destroyed me though. What happened to me? Timmy. Timmy has a really fast attack speed. The cathedral gets sketchy. Be on your toes at all times. I feel like this instance is so easy. Like, I feel like Strat Live is like the easiest instance. And I feel like most groups that I go with feel like it is like the most challenging instance. I guess it's because I usually kick everything, and most groups, I guess that's not a they have to do the instance without kicks, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like the casters just melt. If you have any CC like polymorph, it's just completely free. There's a couple like traps, I guess, where they send skeletons behind you, but they're so weak. I feel like even if your whole group is like you can still easily. Why did the warrior just intimidating shout? Interesting gameplay decision. Well, too many casters to interrupt at the moment, but need to find a target that I don't have aggro of. Yeah, Blade Fury, you just always pull aggro. It's not much the tank can really do. When a class goes from doing like tons... Behind us, guys, behind us. Okay. Behind. Skellies. I distracted him, but we went ahead and pulled him anyway. It's fine. I should probably adrenaline rush here. Okay, I'm gonna vanish the root. Can't afford to, with adrenaline rush up, just get rooted and not do any damage. I haven't taken weapon expertise. Can I then compensate with getting more hit gear then? Nope. Hit has nothing to do with the weapon skill for glancing blows. If you don't take the weapon skill talent, you still are fine in terms of hit chance if you want to just get more of it, but you can't get the glancing blow damage reduction. But that's more of a raid thing. You can't get that unless you have 310 weapon skill. I wonder if you just have too much weapon skill, if you just start critting. Maybe in PvP, weapon skill is really good, and you just crit people like crazy. That might be cool. If you could rock a really high plus dagger build and just crit people like crazy. I know it's useless in PvE, but maybe it does something in PvP. I need to test that. Kick. Okay. I'm going to go on one of the conjurers here. See, like, I feel we just pulled an extra pack and it's not even getting close to like dying. I feel like this instance is just not hard, but I feel like Dire Maul West is just harder. I feel like Dire Maul North even is harder just because the enemies hit hard. You have to be careful of just the incoming damage. It's just really high. But I feel like these mobs hit like wet noodles. There's like the battle mages hit hard, but if you focus them down, you're fine. Plate wearers in PvP stack defenses and can make you miss. If by defensive you mean like defense skill, yeah, I could see wanting weapon skill to compete with their defense skill. I just don't know how good it is, right? If it's only good against plate wearers, are you really gonna want to run like full weapon damage? It might help against clothies though. Maybe you'll crit him more. Like I know NPCs crit you more if you have lower defense skill and they have high weapon skill, but I don't know if it works the same in PvP. Kick. No orbs yet. Little on. Usually get like 1 or 2 per run. He rolled a 99. Sick roll. Oh, I was wondering if this guy was still alive. First one ever. All right. Is he keeping track of his rolls? He's never rolled a 99. I don't even know if I've rolled 100 before. I don't keep track of my rolls. Oh, sick. Since I added, I changed that setting to show my resists, it also shows my energy gains. So I know my procs. Wow, I just got melted. Am I going to die here? Okay, we kicked. We kicked those. Oh, who kicked? Powinator hit a pummel? Nice, Powinator. I think that's his first kick yet. That's what I was expecting it to go through. It's good against flag carriers. Yeah, I'll have to do some more research on weapon skill in PvP. I'll try. This tank wants his orb. Maybe that's just karma for him running so many orb runs. Okay. We can kill these guys. I did have one time that we died to these guys because of a crazy run. A mob bubbled himself and then ran away. Kick. We kick the arcane explosions. I'm actually going to stun here. Okay. If I didn't stun, I think he would have blast waved everyone. Okay, I got the kick off. Yeah, there's very few mobs in the game that you want to stun lock, but like I did a little bit less damage there because I stunned the mob instead of like eviscerating or slice and dicing, but saved the whole group from getting blast waved, so I think it's worth. Where's the Pat at? The Pat just left, so we're good to go on these guys. Oh, we're not LOSing. Yeah, so you can actually freely cheap shot the targets that like bears charge, but if a warrior charges, sometimes you want to garrote instead, since your stun will be on DR. Oh, I kind of just wasted kick there. Let's kidney instead. Yeah, these guys can bubble through kidney, which is a little awkward. But I kidneyed for the heal, so. Oh, let me check. I heard that weapon skill doesn't mean anything in PvP. Obviously, I first found out when I was already level 60. I think there's like two different things. I think, for example, if you duel someone and your weapon skill is not maxed, I don't think it's as big of a deal as in PvE. I think what I heard is that if your weapon skill is like really low in PvE, obviously you miss a ton. In PvP, you just crit less. That's what I heard. What did Ani drop? And what are you farming in Strat Live? I want the Shadowcraft shoulders from Strat Live. And Onyxia dropped 2 heads for tier 2 heads for mages, and the Grimoire for casters, like the PvP item that summons the skeleton. And then I won the roll for Onyxia's head. All of our I was late on my kick, but I got the Onyxia, the Ani neck. All the tanks already got it, so melee DPS were allowed to roll, and I won the roll. Did someone die? Rip. I had my gear up. I didn't even notice. Can you still... Are my bows maxed? My bows are not maxed. I can get some weapon skill shooting the Forbans dudes. I think you can get weapon skill. I'm going to drag the priest to him. Let's go, bud. I don't know why he didn't move. He was kicked. That was an interesting intercept. Yeah, we actually have never seen a rogue item from Ani. To be fair, it's only Viscag and then the Bloodfang Helm. But yeah, none of that has dropped for our group either. I got the kick. Yeah, like these mobs are annoying, but it's like it's pretty hard to wipe here. It just takes a long time to kill them if you don't have multiple people interrupting, because you can't interrupt them all. And we'd be better off CCing them just so that they don't heal each other, but nobody CCs anymore in dungeons. They're kind of just pull aggro at on the meter. Oh, wow, I thought we'd kill him there. I should have kicked that one. Pull aggro at means like they put threat into a number, and if you pass the pull aggro at number, you pull aggro. So it's to tell you how much threat you can generate without pulling aggro. It's always at the top, so that regardless of where you are at the threat meter, you know you're aggro. And it shows you the color too, so you know that if you're in good shape or if you're getting really close to pulling, that kind of thing. I don't really use it too much in 5-mans, because I kind of just feel out how much damage I'm going to do to pull aggro. But in raids especially, it's really important to know where your threat's at, especially fights like Onyxia. Oh, we actually got an interrupt. Got it. I got stunned. I couldn't kick. Unlucky. Oh, we actually got him before the heal got there. Kick the holy spells. All right, but thanks. Thanks, Lifehoof. Appreciate the suggestion. Rip. Oh. Did I LOS the poly? I LOS the poly. Okay, we got the kick. How's our mana? I don't need to adrenaline rush this. It's fine. There's 2 healers. Well, I kicked one of the heals, but can't do them both. This guy just keeps getting healed. I'm going to kill the priest. Kick. Again, but you see, this is like a fiesta. No one else is kicking. No CC is going on, and we're still never going to wipe, because and we're even pulling the skeletons at the worst possible time, but we're still not even going to get close to wiping, because this instance is so easy. So the pull aggro bar goes red when you have the threat. It goes red when you're about to pull threat, I think. I don't usually tank, so I actually don't. I guess it's fully red. It's fully red when you have aggro, but it'll get like almost red. Like right now, the mage doesn't have aggro, but they're almost red. This guy wants his orb. This tank is not happy that we haven't an orb drop. All right. Cannon Master, you gonna drop the shoulders for me today? All right. Now, our druid has Wormtongue shoulders, and he's in the guild, so I think the chances of him rolling on the shoulders are very low. And the warrior already told me he wouldn't roll on them. I double checked just in case, but we should be good. to get the Shadowcraft shoulders here if they drop. So as soon as the bar goes green, you get threat. Like right now, let's see. I'm green. Green is safe. I guess if the pool aggro at goes green, then you pull threat. Now you see, it's not super accurate. Like there was just a threat drop ability that the boss used, so I gained aggro, but the add-on didn't know. So like right now, Powinator's not even close to the top of the threat meter, but he was getting hit because of the aggro dump mechanic from the boss. So the add-ons can't track everything, but I'll just press a cannon real quick. Rip. No shoulders today. Okay, do you know if it is possible to reset your swing timer with abilities? I heard the Apes guy talk about it, but I don't know if it was just private server thing. Basically, I don't have Hand of Justice. As soon as I get Hand of Justice, I would set up the add-on for a swing timer. I think I have it installed too. Weapon swing timer, yep. Basically how it works, if you have Hand of Justice or Thrashblade or Sword Specialization, there is a chance that your Sinister Strike gives you an extra swing. And your auto attacks as well. But Sinister Strike is important because if you time your Sinister Strike right after you auto attack, you'll get the auto attack right away, and you'll be more efficient about your auto attacks. So I guess the easiest way to explain it is if you're attacking every like 2.8 seconds, if you press Sinister Strike right after you get an auto attack, you can basically get 2 auto attacks back to back. However, if you press Sinister Strike right before your normal auto attack, you're guaranteed to only get 1. So hopefully that makes sense. You want to press your Sinister Strike right after your auto attacks so that the extra auto attack doesn't consume your upcoming auto attack right before you use it. So it's kind of complicated to explain, but hopefully that does it. The priest is kind of letting people die and clicking on items they shouldn't, but whatever. It's 10% damage increase if done right in raids. Yep. Oh, thanks for letting me know to apply poisons. I saw him falling off like 5 minutes ago, and then I forgot. And I also should replace my trinket now that we're no longer killing undeads. I've had a bad trinket in for a while too. Yeah. Telemna, you're right. It's a big damage increase if you are using your Sinister Strikes at the right time. Because if you don't, that's one thing I don't talk about. Sword Rogue is probably just as hard as Dagger Rogue. They're probably pretty close. I always forget about that. I always talk about Dagger Rogue being harder because you have to position, but in reality, that's a pretty big factor that that I should be considering. But we're almost done here. We have like one more hallway. And then we have the boss. Kind of sucks though that I always hate doing this instance because most dungeons the best loot comes from the last boss, and like this instance we do Cannon Master and I'm like, all right, I'm kind of done with the run. I know there's nothing I can get. I guess there's a flask recipe, right? Does Balnazar drop a flask recipe? Yeah, Distilled Wisdom. Do you Sinister Strike after a main hand auto attack and offhand auto attack, or one or the other? Main hand, because the Sinister Strike is doing damage with the main hand. I'm pretty sure. I think it's only Thrashblade in the offhand is the only situation where you would get an extra attack in the offhand. All the extra attacks. Well, and I guess just the sword spec proc, but But yeah, you want to do it after a main hand hit. Do you Sinister Strike? What add-on? Does it only work with weapons, though? I don't know what you mean there. What particularly are you asking if it only works with weapons? Last Hammer. Tony, what add-on is he using for swapping trinkets? It's called Trinket Menu. And it's pretty simple. You left click to put it in the left slot. You right click to put it in the right slot. Saved my kick for that polymorph. Knew it was coming. They always polymorph me. I think it's always highest on threat. Second highest on threat. So highest on threat after the tank. Thank you very much. Sure, Tony. So what, we kill like 2 more. Then some dudes spawn. We kill them. Then we kill the boss. Then we kill the last boss. Easy mode. I don't think anything comes from behind anymore. We're actually polying? What? In 2019? First poly of the instance. Wow. Exciting. We really, honestly, it's not that big of a deal to poly the battle mage. These guys don't heal. Poly only really matters for the healers, because when you're cleaving like this, I mean, no one's at risk of dying here. And the arcane explosions are going to get kicked. So really the polys would have been more useful on the caster mobs, but whatever. This is the first group I've seen kill this extra pack. It's pretty much always skipped. Man, I don't like doing groups with feral druids. All my numbers are so small. If you're in a group with like a warrior that's sunder armoring, you get some big numbers. But druids just aren't able to reduce armor as much. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this. I might end the stream early after this. Make a video. Don't think there's really anything else. I could do another strat live. Could farm more arena trinkets. I don't know if I want to do that today. The swing timer thing, it doesn't only work with Thrashblade. It works with Thrashblade, Hand of Justice, and Sword Specialization. So there's 3 different ways you can get extra attacks. Oh, I forgot about these guys spawning. Oh, no, I knew they were coming. It was the skeletons that I said I didn't think were coming. Okay. We don't have a shaman. I think the cloak is only really good for shamans, right? I think only shamans need mana regen. Is it the only decent item? Oh. There's tier 0 gloves for priests. Devout, yeah, that's priest. I'm gonna save my CDs for last boss, I guess. This guy's really easy. So you're saying we need to Sinister Strike right after the main hand weapon is about to hit? Yes. So right after your main hand weapon hits, you press Sinister Strike. And if that Sinister Strike procs... Oh, that's a good one. That would have been sick for a shaman. Oh, this guy is still upset about his orbs. Yeah, so right after your main hand auto attack hits, you then press Sinister Strike. That way, if your auto attack were to be reset, it's like you're getting more value from the auto attack reset because it consumes your next swing. Low geared Resto Druids need mana regen. Yeah. For shamans, it's really, really good. But I think it's still all right for healers. Did the healer take it? No. The healer didn't even roll on it. Even though it was an intellect roll, which is pretty good. Get your vanish ready. There's the vanish. I'm probably going to get mind controlled here. I can only vanish once. Rip. Maybe I'll get dispelled. I got lucky though that it was a sleep and not a dispel me, please. Hey, I got dispelled. Usually you can get mind controlled. Okay, this dagger is pretty decent for fresh 60s. So keep an eye out for that one. It's pretty terrible for almost everyone. So I don't think any casters would ever want it, but I wouldn't feel bad about it. Is the rune? Yeah, mine was picked up. That's the right one. Do you need those shoulders? What are these shoulders? Are these good? I think they're pretty bad. Yeah, this gets 59. Dang. I'd be tempted to take that last cloak, but I guess priests want spirit and they want healing, so I guess this one's probably way better actually. Yeah, Raincaster Abyss. Might be period Abyss actually. Before Height of the Wild existed. Oh, we got a portal. That was nice. All right, well, I think that might be it for today. I think I'll call it early. I'll make a video. I think I'll make a video on hit rating since I'm getting so many questions about it. I feel like most players actually just don't even know how it works because it's really confusing. So I think I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll be streaming same time. So follow on Twitch if you want to do that. I'm doing on YouTube and Twitch for the time being, but eventually I'll go to Twitch. And that's pretty much it. Do you do more damage with this than Thrashblade Mirror's Song? As a dagger rogue, because I have the aged core leather gloves, yes, I do more damage. If I did not have these, I would respec to sword spec and use Thrashblade Mirror Song. Yep. It says chance on melee hit to gain an extra swing. So wouldn't that mean all your hits and not your Sinister Strike? Well, if you see sword spec, gives you a 1% chance on dealing attack on the same target after dealing damage with your sword. So sword spec 100%. It does not say melee, right? Let me look up Hodge to get the wording on Hodge. So definitely sword spec can proc off Sinister. So that's reason enough to do it, but I'll double check Hodge. Blackrock Depths. Anger. Anger says melee hit, so it's probably just autos. And Thrashblade. What does Thrashblade say? I don't know a good way to look up Thrashblade. Actually, I have it in my bank. I'll just go look at it. I could Google it too, but might as well go look at it in my bank. But yeah, I think the plan is, what, today's Tuesday? So tomorrow will be Wednesday. I guess Wednesday and Thursday I'll probably do more dungeons while I'm PvE spec. Friday will be Molten Core. We'll probably one-shot everything Friday. So I'll probably respec Friday night. And then Saturday through Thursday I'll be PvPing. So that'll be fun. Where Thrashblade grants an extra attack chance on hit. So chance on hit, that one can proc off your Sinister too. So if you have Hand of Justice, looks like that one is just your melees, but the other two items are the reasons why you want to go for the main hand resets. So I knew it was sword spec and I thought it was Hodge as well, but guess not. I guess Hodge is just melees, but that's why you want to do it. Your daggers is 311 talents, distracting. what would I need for hit then? Nagel, at that point, just make sure you're soft capped. So make sure you have at least 6% hit. And then at that point, you can just gear as usual. So still keep an eye out for hit because it's going to be good. But 6% is all you need to be soft capped. So all your abilities will hit. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any last questions, I'll go ahead and put them in and I'll answer them, and then I'll call the stream and expect a video later tonight on hit rating. I think I can just vendor this now. Sure, Nagel. Got the Book of the Wild. How much does it vendor for? I feel so sad to vendor it, but I'll hold on to it. Maybe it'll go up. Can always just give it to a druid that needs it. But it's so cheap, I mean, they're just going to buy it. All right. Think that's everything. Okay, inventory is cleaned up again. What did I use up? I'm missing a slot. I think my weapon just moved. Yeah, but you're right. You're right, Last, that Hand of Justice doesn't have the chance to proc. Is it worth farming Fellcloth? They're going for around 1.8 gold to 1.9 gold. Probably not, if you're a rogue. I think the pickpocket runs sound like they're the most profitable if you're talking about just pure money. The Fellcloth farm might be more fun, but you're going to have to pick your poison, right? Because even though Fellcloth farm might be more fun, if you make like 20 gold an hour doing it, you might be better off just doing a pickpocket run, making 50 gold an hour, and you only have to farm like half as much. So I've been seeing most rogues just doing pickpocket farms or pickpocket disenchant farms. So, but I have not tried Fellcloth farm. I know you can farm it for you can get like runes at the same time if you like farm the guys in Ashara. So it can be worth decent gold an hour, but probably not as much as the pickpocket runs. PP where pickpocket in BRD. So you, I think some people talked about Upper Blackrock Spire, but I'm pretty sure BRD is just way better because there's way more mobs. You go into BRD, and there's like a lot of YouTube videos with routes for pickpocketing. But I'd look it up. You basically go to the arena, pickpocket everyone, go around to different places pickpocketing while you wait for the respawns, then you go back to the arena, and you just keep looping through BRD pickpocketing. And you can make about like 50 gold an hour. So, but you go into the Blackrock Depths dungeon to do it all. All right, well, I'm going to call it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time, and expect the video later tonight.